time for Common Man. Common Man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh, boy. Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello.
83-83 Wolves and Celtics tied in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Wallace trying to go right on Rick, can't find room, drops it down to Kenny. Kenny, the former #1 pick, going against the guy he was traded for, Mark. Paul Pierce open in the corner, Candy can't find him, he shoots, blocked by Mark. Here comes Marcus the other way to Justin. Justin, quickly to Ricky. Ricky, through the lane, by Wally, by Candy for two at the buzzer, and it rolls in. And Kevin McHale looks at the Target Center crowd and says, what do you think of my general managing now, as the Wolves are NBA champions here in Minneapolis?
Get back, guys. Here it is. The season's on the line. Two receivers left and right. McCown takes the snap. He steps up. He's all by himself. Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs.
Okay, calm down. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Rosie.
You just have to draw your own conclusions, people.
Think you don't, think I can't, think you shouldn't, think you ain't, think I wouldn't, think I couldn't. You are correct, boy.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the North. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
And even if I was fourth in the North, I index very well. Where's the horn? Hold on, I got it. Actually, that deserves this one. It's all about indexing is what we do. There's an old saying I just made up. It's called, my saying goes like this. It's, the more things change, the more they stay the same. No, the more things stay, things are changing. Times they are a-changing, Tennessee. It's, I asked the question. It all started with Lavelle E. Neal III. Lavelle E. Neal III was, he was doing the Ducky and Bunny bit on the Minnesota sports teams. Was it a year ago, 2 years ago now? And he basically said, do you like parades? Was what he said. And, of course, what do? We rolled our eyes, shrugged our shoulders, shook our heads, and nominated him for a prepreposterous statement. Do you like parades? Well, if you do, the only parade you're going to see here is on TV on Macy's Day Parade, right? Or maybe the Rose Bowl Parade, all on New Year's Day, right? The Thanksgiving and New Year's where they have these Thanksgiving, on Thanksgiving or on New Year's Day. 3 parades. Wolves and Wild, both now.
I'd go 4.
Well, the Vikings get there, but I mean, I don't know yet because they're still they're in sort of kind of like hibernation. We have the 2 winter sports teams are both headed to postseason play. Wild will start with the Dallas Stars, and again, do they still have like 2 more regular season games or 1 more?
The Wild play tonight and tomorrow night.
Okay.
I think the regular season goes through Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay. Do we have I don't suppose we have I think the Wolves already have a day and a time locked up for when
Game
they
one
start.
Saturday.
Right?
Yeah,
Game one Saturday. I think it's a matinee, I believe. It's at 2:30 Central Time, 1:30 Mountain Time. And when you know it, we're going to have one time zone change. We are going to have the altitude.
Yeah.
Romney, it's going to be controversial. And then the Wild will start probably, what do you think then? Saturday, Sunday? You think they'll also start on the
I would
weekend?
think so, yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, and they will be in the Big D to take on Dallas. Both teams, I don't know if I would consider them favorites to win the Stanley Cup or the Naismith Trophy, but they're both in the mix. I do know that. I mean, I think the Wild are highly regarded. We might look at power rankings, but we love List Radio because List Radio is what kind of radio?
It's lazy radio.
And I've got the market on lazy radio cornered. I've been here since 8 o'clock this morning. Did you know that?
Why?
I had a 7:10 dermatology. I've got all sorts of maladies. I sound like Rosen now. I had a dermatology meeting at appointment at 7:10. I got there at 7. I was out the door at 7:23, and I'm as satisfied as the results. I walked in the door. When I met with the nurse, I started trying to explain things. She goes, "I don't need to know that." I mean, I loved it. It's like, it's the old, I think I mentioned this to you before. My brother told me that when you would go into Hollywood meetings to talk about shows and concepts or whatever, or scripts, they would all get together and one guy would say, "Do we want to exchange pleasantries or just get right to business?" It was right to business.
Right to business.
Right to business. No pleasantries exchanged. I even thought, maybe she goes, "Do you want to be called Dan or Daniel?" I go, "You can even call me Danny if you want." Didn't break a smile. Ignored it. And I loved it. Wasn't that funny of a line anyways. And he told me, without saying so, the last guy I don't think gave you the right stuff. Because I thought I had flesh-eating bacteria. He says it's not flesh-eating bacteria, but you do have. And then he had this, they always have those medical names or those scientific terms. And I tried to repeat what he said. He goes, "Yeah, we just have a lot of fancy names for these things." He was just so honest about it. And he said, "I'll get you fixed in 2 weeks. You don't have to live like that." I've been living like this for almost 3 years now because I believed other people. Now, in 2 weeks, maybe it won't be gone. But you know what he said? And if it's not, I got something else that'll fix that. I got something to cure those ills. There ain't no cure for the summertime. So it's 7:25, and I'm 4 miles from the radio station. I'm not going to drive back to Woodbury. So I came in here.
Is there a place you go hit a bucket of balls or something?
I could have. Well, that's another thing. No wheel of topic today because my shoulder's bad. I did play yesterday. Closed circuit, Pierre shot 70 yesterday.
Nice.
First time he's ever shot even par or better, and I was there to witness it. 36-34.
Above average at that.
He had an experience that was not unlike that of Rory McIlroy.
Yes.
So he did that. So I did play yesterday. I was 7 over on 16 at the Wick. Sitting in the fairway, had I think an 8-iron in my hand, and I just hit a line drive into the water. No! Made triple, and then I doubled 17.
Do you how tongue lead it?
Yeah. How about did Scotty? He was magnanimous about it, right? He didn't go to the tent and say, "If I'm not playing with Lee, I probably win the tournament." He had to wait on 2 consecutive holes. I think he waited longer for Lee to chop it around Amen Corner than it did to play the entire round. He took a 10-out hole. He putted off the green on 13 into the water, and poor Scotty's got to sit around and stand around and stand around and stand. And Scotty was kind of on a roll. He's making a run. And but to no avail.
Did you see Lee the day before on Saturday? It was 15, where you have the water on the par 5.
Remind me. I'm sure I saw.
And he literally just, he had an approach shot, and he basically just hit like a low line drive into the water.
He had an experience that's not unlike that of Tennessee.
Yeah, it was very relatable.
Yeah, that's what I exactly said. I said that looks like the shot the shot he hit on 15 is the exact shot I hit on 16. Exactly. I mean, identical shot. Yeah,
he's either brilliant or brutal.
Yeah, he was either brilliant or brutal, and he was brutal at the wrong times. He had a quintuple. But you know what I did notice? When he tapped in for quintuple, he pumped his fist.
Just happy the hole's over.
Just happy the hole is over. So anyway, so I've been here forever. I don't know. I don't like work. That's an 8-hour work day. I don't know how you guys do it out there. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that, but I used to work them, though. You want me to recant all the tales of all the awful jobs I had and the long, arduous hours? Ugh. Overnights. We're not going to do it because I don't even want to revisit those memories. But, why was I talking? Oh, so anyway, so I got in, I got out. I was here at the radio station, took care of some other business, had some other production work to do. And, I loved it because Abbott, during the football season, will leave like at 3 o'clock as he coaches, right? He always claims he gets here really early, right? So I'm here, and he doesn't roll until 9. I see him come in. I go, hey, you're here at the crack of dawn every day, aren't you? I started trying to get him going, and he took the bait a little bit. He goes, but yeah.
Well, with him, he can't miss a minute of the Power Trip morning show. So he's just glued to it in his car. He can't get out. He doesn't want to miss a second of it.
I bet that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So he was in there the entire. Maybe he was working in his car. But yeah, he was just stunned to see me. He did the old double take because it's like it's 5 to 9, and I'm walking out of my office, which is soon to be no more my office. But he was stunned to see me, and I go, "Oh, yeah, isn't that funny?" I decided I'd drop in a little early to see that 7 a.m. start for you that you have every day. He goes, "Here at 7 a.m." He rolled in at 9. He's got banker's hours. Pretty good gig if you can get it. But look who's talking, right? We will talk some. It's time. Tennessee postseason's about. I know it hasn't for the Wild yet, so I guess we won't dive too deep into Wild postseason play until it actually begins. But we know who they're playing. We know who the Wolves are playing. In this Twins club, Tennessee. Now there would be people I would think that would say, "Well, you're a gadfly. You're a negative. You're a wet blanket. You're probably disappointed to see the Twins doing as well as they are." I know. I like when the home team. I'm not against the home teams. I just get disappointed when they don't play well, and then when there are extenuating circumstances, if that's the right word, when ownership or the front office is in at least in my humble opinion, not holding up their end of the bargain. They're making decisions that aren't correct. Like the Twins, for instance, deciding to right-size the payroll. That's a bad decision. You can't do that, particularly the timing with where they were, where they were going, where they were at. So this is, could it be a third parade? I think we're a game over 500. Message.
2 games over 500.
200 games over 500?
They're tied for the best team in the American League.
We're tied for the best record in the American League.
9-7 right now is tied for the best record in the American League.
I must have looked at the standings from 4 days ago. Are we still in second place, though?
Well, we're tied for the best record in the American League.
Yeah.
So it'd be hard to be second place there, unless it'd be tied for first. Twins and Cleveland are tied.
Okay.
9-7.
Oh, okay. So then I don't have to say a message to the Cleveland Guardians because they're not in our rearview mirror. We're neck and neck with them right now. So the Twins, all they do is win. We'll break. We'll come back, peek at the purple. Coming up next here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
The Ella Music Festival is coming August 19th. Willie Nelson, the Avett Brothers, Lucas Nelson, and more at Mystic Lake Amphitheater. Tickets are available now. Get the full details at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Boy, they call me negative. All sorts of people just basically saying pump the brakes on the Twins. I'm just going to say I didn't say we were going to start planning a parade, but I asked if you like parades. Sorry, my expectations were so low that I'm actually, I don't want to say I'm giddy, but Tennessee, be honest with me. If I would have told you Twins are going to be 9-7 through 16 games and be tied for the best record in Major League Baseball, you would have said, I've always known you need long-term psychiatric care, but now it's stat, right? No one would believe that. There's nobody out. The only guy, I guess, would be Tom Pohlad, who said he was just beside himself when the odds makers are basically saying, over-under is about 73 wins. Well, that's preposterous, he said. We're going to contend. And then I thought to myself, maybe Tom needs long-term psychiatric care, and even then there's very little hope. But, and it is early, but it's still fun.
It's bizarre that the best team in the league is 9-7 in the American League.
Well, it means, you know what that, I guess that means it's going to be parody has struck Major League Baseball as well. A Peek at the Purple brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. Spring storms are coming. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to get my lovely wife, Potato, who can rattle the pots and pans, since she looked at the weather forecast. Southern Minnesota, expect heavy winds with hail maybe the size of baseballs.
No!
Twins territory. As big as baseball, that's some nasty hail. That's hail that will destroy a house.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And if you're out, don't be outside during the storm because you'll get your head.
Put your car in the garage, too.
You are correct. Spring storm is coming. That means power surges can do serious damage to appliances and electronics. Affordable Electric offering $25 off whole home surge protector installation right now. It's one of those things you don't think about until something gets fried like an egg. Wow, man, I'm fried. Call Affordable Electric or text them 612-331-VOLT. 612-331-VOLT. We're at AffordableElectric.com. The offer runs through April 30th. Affordable-electric.com. And remember, Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. Vikings beat writer for The Athletic, Alec Lewis, was in the studio with us on Friday. He played Program Password. He and I are 3-0. Are we 3-0 together, or is he just 3-0?
He's 3-0. I think you're 2-0 together. Okay,
we're 2-0 together. We bested Lil B and Julia Daniels from Care 11. And I asked him, what are you working on before he left the studio for The Athletic? And he said, working on the draft. And sure enough, he wasn't kidding. In The Athletic, it says, this was released today at 6 a.m. sharp. Minnesota Vikings NFL Draft 2026 Guide. Picks, predictions, and key needs. We have 9 picks. Number 9. We 18 overall in the first round. Second round, we have the 17th pick in the second round. That's the 49th overall. Third round, we have 2 picks. 18, which is 82 overall. 33, which is 97 overall. That's a compensatory pick. The 5th round pick is from the Eagles. 23rd in the 5th round, 163 overall. 6th round from the Indianapolis Colts. 15th in the 6th round, 196th overall. Then 3 7th-round picks. That's sort of like, we've talked about Stratego before, right? That's like having, I know they reversed the numbers now, but 9 used to be a scout. That's like having 3 scouts. You get a 7th-round pick, they generally don't pan out. But we do have 3 of them, 18, 19, and 28 in the round, and then 234, 235, and 244 overall. 2 of those from the Panthers and the Texans. But what I found interesting, Teneby, is he writes about the Vikings. And then he lists, general manager, head coach, and says, the Vikings are about to draft without a full-time general manager. This is rare, but it's not a big deal considering Rob Brzezinski's history with the club. He's participated in draft meetings for 2 decades and has as much knowledge of Minnesota draft successes and failures as anyone internally. Brzezinski wants to take a best available approach. In past years, the Vikings have talked about utilizing this strategy, but then selected for need. Expect that to change this time around, with O'Connell and defensive coordinator Brian Flores having a major say in the type of player the team pursues. And this is a debate I've had with people, and people will say, well, at the end of the day, the reason Cam had to go was because general manager has the last say and the buck stops here. Why would to me, my response to that would be then why does the general manager have that much power? I really feel like it makes more sense to me, and maybe you don't, maybe you can explain to me the logic why they do it the way they do it. I would want the guy that's coaching the players on the field, that knows the kind of system he wants to run and what players would fit his system. We talk about it with B-Flow all the time. He's a B-Flow kind of a player. Because B-Flow we don't have any of the Hutchinsons or who's the guy that the Packers got from Dallas?
Micah Parsons.
We don't have any of those names like that. Or think of all the names of the best linebackers and the best interior defensive linemen and the best safeties and cornerbacks. We don't have any of those names. You go, that's best. He's one of the best at that position. We just have guys that fit roles that B-Flow likes to do. Why would you want the general manager having the final say? I don't know, maybe where am I wrong? I want the coach to have at least as much say as the general manager.
Well, if that was the case, why even have a general manager?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
You could argue that.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'd like to think it's just a time management thing. I don't know if a coach has the time to be studying up on every single college football player. He's not watching college football during the season. He's got his own team to worry about. He might have a peripheral view of a lot of these prospects, and they might have a couple they point out to him and they take in-depth looks at, I'm sure KOC, the year McCarthy was drafted was really studying up on the quarterbacks, but was he really doing that thorough of a study on every single position? There's hundreds, thousands of, eligible players out there. I just don't know, given what he has to do during the season, if he can, and then I'm sure he's got his GM's ear on free agency and looking at potential free agents. I just don't know if he has enough time to do all that.
And there's also, and this is a good argument for it. A coach will generally
play for the now.
Yeah. That's where you come in with the draft for need rather than best player available. Because if you're a coach, especially if you're a coach, let's say you're hot, and I don't think O'Connell is necessarily on the hot seat, but 4 years, 0-2 in the playoffs. I'm sorry, we've had 2 wonderful regular seasons, right? Was it 13-4 and 14-3 or 14, whatever order it was? Those are terrific regular seasons. I mean, you look at those alone and you'd say, well, yeah, give the guy an extension and build a statue out front of U.S. Bank Stadium. But when you're 0-2 in the playoffs and when you let a franchise quarterback walk, so you could be thinking, we got to win, and we got to win now. And you might say, we really need this. We need a center. Yeah, you want a center real bad? But if you're being honest with yourself and you're looking at the player, that linebacker out of Penn State or whatever, he's by far the best player. Maybe not by far, but he's a better player, but we got to go with needs. Maybe that's another problem. So,
some could say, hey, Brzezinski should be taking advice from KOC on what to do for the draft. I would say Brzezinski should be listening to Purple Prey next.
Purple Prey. That's next. By the way, Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. For all of your electrical needs, affordable-electric.com. Purple Prey next. Common Man program on the Fan.
Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryan text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates play.
It sounds like did you call them the Avett brothers? Is that their name or is it Avett? They're coming to town?
I'm not the guy to really know that pronunciation of the country artist.
Well, you ran through it you read it, and you seem confident the way you said his name.
Avett, A-Chain.
Is Avett...
ETN.
That sound, I could be wrong. That sounds like kind of a washboard band to me, You know what I mean by a washboard band? They got the washboard, and they got a stand-up bass. Maybe an accordion and a harmonica. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're acid rock. Acid rock. I used to call it acid rock. I guess you would listen to it when you were on LSD. Or a whole multicolored galaxy of uppers and downers and screamers and laughers. I can tell you're looking them up right now to find out what genre they are. I'm thinking they're saying bluegrass country.
To pronounce this name as
I'm just on YouTube for pronunciation.
But I like listening to that guy. Because I get him to the pronunciation of names. I'm from France. I have no idea what we're talking about here, but I'm going to give you that guy. He sounds like he's French.
It is Avett.
Avett?
Yeah.
The Avett brothers. Does it say what genre they are?
I think they're all country artists, aren't they?
Well, I didn't know. I wasn't paying. I wasn't really listening. I was just waiting for my chance to talk. So good for them. They're going to be back. Speaking of coming back, Flop, Sweat, and Tears is back.
Oh, they're folk rock.
Folk rock. Flop, Sweat, and Tears is back this Saturday at the New Hope Cinema Grill.
Oh, boy.
Common, Sauce, LMG, Tickets are available at cinemagrill.com, but we're going to give away a pair later today. Your lucky day. Could be your lucky day.
You're lucky the Wild are on the road, because if I had to make the decision between like a Wild home playoff game or flop, sweat, and tears, I don't know if my brain would explode.
What's really interesting is we've had other tickets to give away on the same day. We've had Wild tickets or Wolves tickets. And I've always said, hey, Timmy, why don't you just give the 11th caller his choice? Every single time they take the Wild or the Wolves, not one of them has ever said, I want those flop, sweat, and tears tickets. Okay. That's fine. You're going to miss out. National Football League draft, a couple weeks away, something like that, whatever it is. I know we love the National Football League draft, not only on this show, but the entire radio station does. I think the entire world does. Though, did you hear that it's going to be held in Pittsburgh, and apparently 40% of the hotel rooms are still vacant? And usually every town sells out because rubes want to be there. People are starting to have less interest in the draft, or they just hate the city of Pittsburgh?
It's like we could go to maybe Vegas in a couple of years or Pittsburgh now.
Yeah, I think.
What should we do?
I think I'm out on Pittsburgh. But anyways, it's time now for Purple Prey.
Purple Prey, Purple Prey.
It's time now for Purple Prey.
Purple Prey, Purple Prey.
An in-depth look at who the Vikings should target in the NFL draft.
Purple
It's so
Prey,
exciting.
Purple Prey.
With the 12th pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Christian Ponder.
I want to hear who Tanner thinks that we should draft today.
When you first started working here, you were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, real positive about everything. If this would have been right when you first started, would the Vikings take Justin Jefferson? Instead, you put in Christian Ponder.
Vikings select Randy Moss.
Yeah. And yet, instead, you put in Christian Ponder.
Well, I think Ponder's actually been better than some of their draft picks of recent years.
Hold on.
I really think the Vikings are going in the right direction. Interim GM Rob Brzezinski is going to crush this draft and become the full-time GM.
You are correct. So what do we got for Purple
the beauty of Rob Brzezinski is he's got so many options this year, right? It's not like in previous seasons where it's like we have to get a cornerback and we have to get an offensive tackle.
Correct.
Which actually made it trickier for me because I basically had to study up on all the positions this year. But we're going to begin with... we got to begin with a sexy fantasy football position, right? We're going to begin with running back.
Ooh.
We do have Aaron Jones coming back, but he was not even a cinch to come back this year. Jordan Mason's just Which, by the way, remember last year when I said Jordan Mason was meh, and I got lots of criticism from all the callers and the listeners? He was fine.
Yeah.
He's okay.
He's okay.
But that's all he is.
Yeah.
We could use a little more burst at the running back position. And, the number one running back's not going to be on the board by the time the Vikings select.
That's the Love guy?
Yes. We could go get Jeremiah Love's backup.
And Jadarian Price is still on his feet. Still going. One guy to beat, and he takes him out. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
This guy is ridiculous. Excellent job up front. Plenty of places to run, but he keeps the shoulder square. He bounces it and cuts all the way back. Excellent vision, excellent balance, and he's simply hard to tackle.
That's right. I'm going with running back for Notre Dame, not Jeremiah Love. I'm going with Jadarian Price.
Ooh, Jadarian Price.
Yes, he's 5'11".
Oh my gosh, you are above average at that.
203 pounds. And he was the primary backup to Jeremiah Love at the University of Notre Dame, which he probably could have been a starter anywhere else in college football. But he got stuck behind Jeremiah Love, which kind of reduced the stats a little bit. But the times he did get opportunities, 6.2 yards per carry last season in 2025.
Well, that leads me to, if I have the math right, every 2 carries he gets a first down.
You've got really good math skills right there. The positive of him playing behind Jeremiah Love is he's got lots of tread on the tires. Right? He hasn't been worn down by college football. I did lots of tape, studying the tape. Can I tell you all the strengths I like about?
You know what their nicknames were in college? Goodyear and Firestone.
He's well built for the position, and he's got those rocked up arms.
Yeah, rocked up arms, right?
And
right.
he has improved his definition in his lower half.
Looks a lot like me.
He shows impressive acceleration in space. He has open field vision. He keeps his shoulder square, which you heard on the highlight.
Yep.
He hits the holes on time. He's quick to read, collect his feet, and dart through creases. He breaks tackles because he has really good run balance, and he also consistently finishes forward. When he gets hit, he don't go down.
No.
He keeps moving forward. He's able to sidestep defenders at top speed and keep going. And what I like about the current Vikings running back situation, given that we don't necessarily need a running back this year, he was an impact kick returner.
Really?
He had 3 touchdowns and 36.1 yards per return in his college career returning kicks.
So he's good on the boom, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So at the very least, he's your kick returner starting this year, and then you mix him in the rotation. Aaron Jones at some point will probably get hurt, and then you can mix him in a little bit more. And then come 2027, he is your number 1 running back.
I had one thought. Since they both play for Notre Dame, is it just maybe Notre Dame we should draft their offensive line because maybe that's the reason the 2 running backs are so good, or do we think it has anything to do with the running back? I mean, call me a skeptic, but I'm just wondering.
And you know what else I love about him?
What's that?
He had the number 1 running back in college football ahead of him on the depth chart.
Yep.
We live in a world of transfer portal. We live in a world of nil money. He could have gone elsewhere, but he's loyal. He's loyal.
He's loyal to his hole.
And in fact, like the coach who hired him was Chip Kelly, and then Chip ended up believing him before he even started college football. But he said, nope, I committed here. I'm going here. And then once Love got there, he said, nope, I'm staying here, even though he could have been a number 1 back anywhere else in the country. So we're going to go Jadarian Price out of Texas University of Notre Dame.
Purple pray, purple pray.
It's time now for Purple Prey.
Purple pray, purple pray.
An in-depth look at who the Vikings should target in the NFL Draft.
Purple pray, purple pray.
With the 12th pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Christian Ponder.
I want to hear who Tanner thinks that we should draft today.
I should mention probably a 2nd-round pick is where he's going to go. But he might end up being the number 2 running back off the board.
And Kyle wants to mention, will Tanner bring up Jadarian Price's increasing fumbling problem in his purple Prince?
I avoided some of the negativity.
Isn't that funny? Avoiding the negativity.
I mean, he's not a sure thing running back. He's not a Jeremiah Love.
He doesn't have fly paper for hands, in other words. Does he carry? I wish you would have said the one negative would be he carries the football like what? A loaf of bread. See, get it to me? Because if you really hold on to a loaf of bread really tight, it'll squish. So when you're carrying a loaf, you're barely hanging on to it.
It's the worst when it's in that bag of groceries, the paper bag, and other things gets stuck on top of it and starts smushing it.
Yeah, it takes somebody special and some real training to pack a bag of groceries properly. That's for sure. Heavy stuff on the bottom, delicate stuff on the top, breakables, as we like to say.
It's funny I stayed away from all the negative traits.
Isn't that funny how you do that? So anyway, we are, is it a week from Thursday or 2 weeks from Thursday?
A week from Thursday. Yeah, we always do
that's right.
the 2 weeks leading up to it.
Very good. And definitely looking forward to that. As we get to the list, I think we should talk a little bit about the Masters tend to be. So on Friday, I didn't tweet it out, but I was going to because I've done this before. I was going to say, thanks a lot, Rory, for ruining the weekend for us golf lovers, right? I mean, he goes out, that backside, he birdied 6 of the last 7 holes. Historic. 6 of the last 7.
And the chip in on 17 was brilliant.
From 30 yards out. He's leaving the rest of the field in his wake. You know, I think we talked about this the other day. 6 shots doesn't sound like a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of strokes. And as talented as McIlroy is, and this is where it's interesting. That's why it's really difficult to get inside anybody's head, right? other than meat sauces, there's plenty of room there. You can get inside it if you want. No problem, no crowbar needed, just slide right in. But, all the discussion leading up to the Masters was, well, how will Rory be now? Will he be loosey-goosey? Because he finally got the monkey off his back. 17 years he'd been trying to win a green jacket, and he'd come close back in, when he was just a kid. I love when they show the highlights when he looks like he's 12 years old. And that's when he shot the 80. When he shot was at like 40 on the backside on Sunday, and he just lost his best chance to win the Masters. And he wanted, it was what he was missing for the Grand Slam of golf. We saw the reactions last year, the blubbering, the whole thing, and it was fun. It was great. And I think everybody was happy for him. Justin Rose probably wasn't as delighted as everybody else was, but that's okay too. He handled it very magnanimously. That's why I like Rose so much and was pulling for him yesterday, because I just thought he's handled it. How you handle defeat is great. The more gracious you are in defeat is the better. Some guys can't do it. Some guys get bitter, sullen, withdrawn. Other guys.
Some guys break their driver on the second hole of the day.
Exactly. Other guys, And Rose is one of those kinds. Even Norman was that kind of a guy. I mean, think about Norman having to face the media after blowing a 6-shot lead on Sunday when he had a reputation for blowing leads, but he did it. But so will Rory just be loosey goosey coming in, or will it be that, well, now that he's won it and he doesn't really have anything to play, so the intensity won't burn quite as bright, right? It's like, got off to a slow start here, and does it really matter because I've had the wine, the women, and song. I'm Elmer J. Flood. I own a mansion and a yacht, right? I don't need this anymore. Or would it be I had another third option for him. I can't remember what that third option is, but nevertheless. But that was kind of the thinking that will it be one or the other, and. The other one would be, would he get too tight, right? But most people kind of just dismiss that one. He's really not going to care that much anymore, or he's so loose and goose now he can go long. Well, it looked like it was the loosey goosey thing, right? Because he goes and he had a great round Friday, on Thursday, but then on Friday he does the 6 birdies and 7 holes, shoots 65. He's got a 6-shot lead. So I'm thinking it's rather than a competition, it's a coronation, right? Well, he shoots 73. Getting a little leaky, other players making a move. And I think what we learned is that's just kind of how McIlroy is, right? He's because he did it. He did it.
Might just be kind of how the course is, too.
The course, too. But because look what he did on Sunday last year when he won. He would hit a brilliant shot, then he hits it into the water on 13 from that was an 80-yard shot or whatever it was. Then on 15, he hits the big hooking shot around the corner. So he was either brutal or he was brilliant. Well, the pack comes back in. It was a lot of fun watching yesterday. It really was. I was pulling for Rose again. I don't really root against golfers. I really wasn't rooting against McIlroy on Saturday. Because I like him. And when he won yesterday, it's a great story. But I'm in it for myself. I'm a little selfish. I want high drama on Sunday. Once a year, we get the Masters Sunday. I don't like 8-shot victories.
You want them to have to make big shots down the stretch.
Yes, exactly, and that's what we saw. And, God, my guy Rose had a chance. He had 3 birdies to close out the front side. Then he gets to 12, and he 10-bees it. He chunks a wedge from behind the green. He was trying to hit that delicate wedge, but he hit behind the ball. And, all golfers are allowed to make mistakes like that, but I still believe there's probably a little pressure there because you're right there. This is his best opportunity. When he was tied for the lead at that point, if I'm not mistaken. Tied for the lead.
And he was in the lead before. And he had a solo lead at one point.
And he flubs it. He ends up making bogey there. And then he gets to 13. It's a great drive. And that second shot's a laser. I mean, just a gutsy shot. Deciding this is it, And he just aggressive. The gutsy part was not going for it, but was how aggressive of a line he took. I don't know how many feet he had coming back. What was it? 20?
Yeah.
15, 30? I don't know, 20 feet, let's say. And he 3-putted. You're thinking if he buries this, I think he would have been tied for the lead. I don't know. But
was he at 10 and Rory at 12 at that time?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly what it was. And
at the very least, you're going, he's gaining a stroke.
Yeah, he's gaining a stroke.
Right, at worst.
And then he 3 putts, and that was. And then other guy. And then we talked about Scheffler in the opening segment. It looked like I've not seen anywhere where he said anything about, well, wish Lee would have played a little better on the backside, because that was, what did Lee shoot? Did he shoot like a 44 on the back? I think he shot 4 because he had a 10 and he had a
triple right before the 10.
Yeah. So that's 3.
He went from
that's 5,
10 under, 9, 10 under to like 1 under.
Yeah. That's 8 over par on 2 holes. And they brought it up on the broadcast. They were going, well, Scotty's having to wait a little bit of a while here. And I don't know, Timothy, I don't like to use myself as a comparison or even talk about myself, use myself as an analogy or anything like that. But, I do like a fast pace of play. I mean, I'm not saying run to the ball, hit it, run to the ball. But I'm more Oberg-like with my results on a golf course. And, okay, but just, if Oberg just goes, does he even take a practice swing? If he does, it's 1 and he hits the ball. He hits the ball, and it's served him well over the years. And Scheffler isn't really a slow player either. And I got to think you're playing for a jacket and you're going, he's probably thinking, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? Get a grip, man. Pull yourself together here. I got a shot I got to make here. And to be honest, it didn't seem like it hurt Scheffler too much. It's not like he chunked it or bladed it or anything. But I got to think that's still got to weigh on you a little bit, man. You're just going, come on, dude. Yeah. And then you got to feel bad for Lee too, because he just came completely unwound.
Yeah.
Completely unwound. And other guys had a chance. Young just didn't make a putt. He just didn't make a putt. I think he parred every hole on the backside.
He
didn't make a putt. And I'm not saying it wasn't like he was missing from 2 feet, but he just never really came close to making anything. Reed was that Saturday or Sunday he started with 3 birdies? Was that Sunday? He got off to a great start and then he faded. And it was, they just kept dropping like flies. But now McIlroy. So in 2 years, he goes from, heartbreak at the Masters, and still hasn't been able to capture the 4th and final leg of the Grand Slam. He gets that, and then this year he ties another record. Is he the 3rd or 4th to win back-to-back Masters? It was Nicklaus, Faldo, and Woods.
Yep.
And now he becomes the 4th to do it.
Well, amazingly, the stat I saw after Friday, when he was at 12 under after Friday, out of the 91 golfers at the Masters, he was 90th in driving, which is unbelievable that you are the 2nd to worst driver and you are destroying the field in a golf tournament. That just blew my mind.
Well, what it goes to show is what they've always said about Augusta. It doesn't penalize poor drives as much as a lot of other golf courses, because the trees, for the most part, most of them, especially the pine, they're trimmed up.
Yep.
So if you're on the pine straw, there are branches you have to avoid up high, but you can still hit low shots and shape shots. Scheffler hit a shot, I think it was on 14, where it looked like he had nothing, and he just hit this low runner that cut a little bit or hooked a little bit. But you're right. To be that far down on the driving listings and be leading the event it's astonishing. So, and now remember after last year when he said, I have a question for the rest of you in the media. What are we going to talk about next year? Because every year it's Maury, is this Rory? Is it
three-peat?
Now it's three-peat.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be, can he be the first person to win?
Well, how about Scheffler? Last 36 holes did not bogey.
Did not bogey. The first player to ever
win
do
a tournament.
Yeah. It was the first player to ever do it. Yeah. It's you're playing Avett Brothers.
It is, yeah. Avett Brothers.
That's what it sounds like to me. Even though I've never heard them, so I don't know if this sounds like them, but I'm going with it. This is what it seems. When I hear the name of the band, this is what I think it sounds like. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Tennessee, you have a little 5-3-4 for us, a tease?
Do we have a goaltending controversy?